Good.
The Express episode.
That's right. Espresso.
The Grow Business Podcast.
This is the
with
Grow.
Cory Mosley.
Espresso.
Espresso. Yeah, I need some of that right now.
Yeah. Woo.
I should have got an espresso. Huh. It's not too late.
No.
I can
You can send
let me
it.
order up an espresso.
Send a note. That's right.
Yeah, I'm going to send a note. I'm going to send a note.
Send a note to the Mosley with the Moses.
Yeah. We're coming in.
We're
recording.
We're recording.
Yeah.
We are indeed.
I'm ordering an espresso right now.
Right.
Folks, if you're on YouTube, you got to be on YouTube. You got to check us. I don't know why the music's still playing at full volume. I don't know why that is. I think we're a minute in. I think we can fade it out there, my friend.
I think he was trying to buy you time.
Yeah, it was giving me time to order up that cafe au lait.
That's right. That shot of juice.
Yeah, welcome to the place to be.
That's right.
Right? Don't change that dial, they used to say in radio. Don't change that dial. You are at the right place. You've hit the right button. If you're new to us, welcome. If you're wondering where you are, if you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe somebody shoved this link in my face. Maybe a friend shared it with you. We're happy to have you. You are watching, streaming the Grow Business Podcast. I'm your host, Cory Mosley. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the guy you want to be in a foxhole with. LG007 Lon Graham is here.
Voice of Reason.
It's good to be
I build
here.
you up, and then the thing comes in like the voice of reason,
That's
like mellows you out. So, folks, don't get, what is it, manage your expectations.
That's exactly right.
And, of course, the guy pushing the buttons and leaving the music on too long in the beginning is none other than Willie H. He's here.
Hit the buttons, William.
That's right. He's hitting those buttons. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve today. This is dress down edition.
Yeah.
For those of you watching on YouTube, for those of you, Lon was in the dressing room trying to find one of them sexy blazers. He likes to pull out. Is that you put those on in your pictures and you're trying to get those swipes?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. I haven't thought about that. That's a good idea.
I said, put the blazer down because I'm not changing clothes. Right. I'm on brand today, and I'm not changing clothes for this episode. So no point in you being all dressed up, and then because then what Lon will do after the recording is he'll go, "Oh man, why didn't you tell me? I got this blazer here and everything." So. Because we do a great job communicating here, folks.
where would you came
we're very organized, but you would be shocked to know how loose this comes together. It's so organized. You're in a beautiful studio. All this stuff is organized. Right. Yeah. Sometimes I don't even know when Willie H presses play. So we're super excited to have you here. As always, we're here to help you do one thing, grow your business. Not here to be your gurus, but we want to share some ideas, some strategies, some things that maybe have worked for us in our career and we think will work for you.
Indeed.
We've got the benefit to be in the marketplace every day, living, breathing, taking tactical action on many of the things that we're talking about here.
Right.
Or we're getting great information and we want to package that up and pass it along to you as well.
Right.
So that's what our aim is. We base our shows on my 5 pillars of business growth. I believe any business growth challenge falls under one of these 5 pillars. Mindset, sales, marketing, operations, or people. This is the fundamentals that drive my latest book, Position for Growth, that is available on Amazon and CoryMosley.com. I encourage you to check that out and get a copy for anybody looking to grow their business. And as my friend Willie Jolly would say, buy one for yourself and buy one for a colleague.
There you go.
Right? So that's a 2 purchase.
Shout out to Willie Jolly.
Yeah, shout out to Willie Jolly. And if you use CoryMosley.com, we do ship those autographed copies directly from our office. So really, really cool. So in keeping with the 5 pillars,
okay,
we had our impromptu moment last week where I kind of just I had to go off on a tangent because I got a bad email, from a marketer. We're
And if you didn't listen last week, encourage you to go back and listen.
Yeah, if you didn't listen to that episode about cold email
Right.
when I called the Audible, I guess I assume everyone listens in order.
Right.
But maybe some people just pick the
This might
topic
be
that
their
they're
first-
most interested
it might
in.
be their
Yeah,
first time.
exactly. 100%. So listen to them all.
Yes.
Starting from episode 6 and up, but that's an inside joke. Willie H is laughing. All the episodes are good. We love them. We appreciate them, and we appreciate all those who have served. You still got that highlighter there. If you're watching us on YouTube,
It's an homage.
It's an homage, yes,
To the very beginning.
those who are no longer with us. They're alive, but they're just not in the studio anymore. So I want to get into and the other thing is, for those of you who don't know, we don't tell LG007 the topic. So he has no idea. And what that is a testament to your solid preparation, because you always deliver good nuggets. So it is good. It's the God will never put more on you than you can bear, right?
Right.
So it's that moment. So he has no idea what we're talking about. Did I say the pillar already?
You started to.
Okay, so I can't do the guessing game
Yeah,
with you.
that's
So we're
not gonna
covering
work
the
for you.
operations. We like to give him a 1 in 5 chance sometimes to get it right. We're talking about operations today. So today's topic, if you've been wondering, or you fast forwarded,
Right.
you've been looking for the bridge point to fast forward to figure
the
out
30
what
second,
are they
right.
talking today. It's in the title,
Right.
so it'll be in the title, but the
Right.
suspense is here.
Right.
We're going to be talking about some major challenges.
Okay.
What we consider to be, we're using 5 as our number, because we're
Right.
like 3, 5, 7 here.
Sure.
So we're using 5. I'm going to talk about 5 challenges, major challenges, but some things that that small business owners are facing right now.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs are facing right now. And then obviously we don't want to just talk about the problem. We want to give you a little nugget on, some possible, solutions or ways to look at it from a strategic standpoint.
Yes.
Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right. So let's get into what do you think the first one? No, what do you think the second one is?
Right, exactly.
So I think the big, what do they say? 800-pound gorilla in the room
Right.
is economic uncertainty.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not obviously a political show, but politics certainly drive people's, fears about certain things, strategies about certain things. Yeah, come on in. It was already announced at the beginning of the episode that I was going to get a espresso coffee brought in.
Thank you.
So you want to be on? If you don't want to be on camera, you can just slide it there. Okay. Thank you very much.
you.
Nobody even saw you. All right, good. Get my energy level up
There we
if
go.
I'm not jacked up enough.
Right.
Taste it. Okay, Lon. Why don't you comment on economic uncertainty while I apparently have to taste test the coffee?
Well, I think a lot of the economic uncertainty or the perception of it is we know we've got the election in November. And so people
Hold
aren't
tight.
sure.
What did you do to it? Oh, there's sugar in this? Oh, well, I normally drink black coffee.
Is it good?
But I would not say it's not.
Good
She
enough.
brought it to me.
All right.
Thank you. Willie H., do we have a thank you? What do we got? For our beautiful assistant. Willie H. has got nothing for you but advice.
Yeah. Nothing for you but advice.
Stay focused, stay positive.
There you go.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think, what we're talking about, especially right now, is we've got the election in November.
Yes.
And, regardless of who wins, the issue is people are worried about the person that won, whether it's your person or not.
Correct. What does that mean either way?
What does that mean
Yes.
to me? What does
Yes.
that mean to my business? What does that mean to? And then we start to talk about all the things that are impacted by the perception of that. The rates at the Fed, so which lead to interest rates in home buying and interest rates in borrowing money for your business and interest
Right.
rates. And what does that mean? How does that change pay structure for employees if you have employees and all of the things that go along with that? All of these things are financially related. And the anxiety about it is really tied to the noise around the election.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's a good place to turn it back over to you.
And I think the thing to me, there's segments of challenge. There's segments of concern.
Correct.
And what I mean by that is this matters more or less to you based on where you fit in the ecosystem. If you're
Correct.
concerned with things like tariffs,
Right.
because you import a lot of the products or services that you sell.
Right.
If you're concerned about fuel because you've got a last mile delivery small
Right.
business where you're where you're doing business with the Amazons, or you own a FedEx route.
Right.
there's levels of concern
Correct.
based on where you are in your business.
Yeah.
Because one thing is for certain, whenever there's a situation where money is transferred.
Correct.
So whenever there's a situation where it's being taken from somewhere, it's going somewhere else.
Right.
So we think about economic downturns. We think about those things. There's a lot of companies historically that have been created. Uber was created in a distressed economy.
Right.
So there's always something.
Right.
So your level of concern, I find often is based on that. I come from the auto. It's we've talked about it many times on the show. I come from the auto industry, working with car dealers, manufacturers, on the sales and marketing consulting side, and 2009, right, complete just implosion.
Correct.
Now, I understand some of my Gen Zs were like 6 or 7 back then that might be listening to us now about their business. But that was a big deal,
right?
Particularly a huge deal in the automotive automotive industry. But what I would tell people is we did well
right
from a consulting end. And it was, well, Cory, how did you make it through that? Well, when people are doing well, they invest in products and services to keep the momentum.
Right.
When people are not doing well,
right,
some of those people drop off, but then you pick up the people who are investing to limit the downside or protect or hedge against, like play on the margin, right? And want to get back or save up. So the pendulum swings, but there are financial opportunities in both of those situations.
Well, what you're saying, Cory, and I'm cutting you off here, but what you're saying is that the money doesn't go away. It's just, where does money go? Because somebody's always making money.
Sure.
And somebody's always got money.
Right.
It's just a matter of who and where.
Right. And I think in that situation, from a strategic standpoint, that really comes down to, things like cash reserves.
Correct.
And operational dollars, right? Not operating by fear.
Right.
Right. But having that foresight from a preparation standpoint, if that's a true situation
right
for you based on where you fit in that economic chain.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So really thinking about certainty through your lens, and again, the thing I love about 5 pillars, clearly this molds in the mindset and molds in the some other things, but operationally speaking, how you're handling finances, what your cash reserves looks like, what any types of line of credit or credit facilities, which if there truly is distress.
Correct.
Because there's a difference between inflationary situations and economic downturns. I'm not an economist, and I don't purport to be, but there is a difference between that. Because when you have economic distress, you will see things like banks. You can't rely on your line of credit because the banks are cutting those lines of credit.
Right. They're reducing that.
Right. You're waking up. You thought you went to bed at $250,000 line of credit. You're waking up to $50,000. Right. So you can't even necessarily hedge that if we're talking about true economic downturn. Now, uncertainty as to point impacts of those things, you typically have some reliability there that you won't lose those type of credit facilities, but having preparation for that becomes important. Also, with economic uncertainty, if that's in your concern list, think about pricing strategies.
Okay.
Make them adaptable. Like how people can pay for products or services becomes important.
Right.
In a lot of professional services, there's a lot of reliance on upfront because the business owner wants cash in house.
Right.
Now maybe you have to be more flexible with that type of thing, and how you look at payment plans or how you look at those structures, as well as building and bundling products or services.
Yeah, and I think there's an element of creativity to that as well, like you're talking about. But the reality of it is it's understanding where you fit in the marketplace, and don't just do things because there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of people saying, well, the world's going to fall apart and the insurance rates are going to go up and this is going to go down and you're going to be paying people $25
I learned something from Jeffrey
now.
Gitomer years ago.
Okay.
And I make sure when I quote, I love to give credit unless I don't know, and then I'll say I don't know who said it. But I got this straight from him.
Yeah.
It's never about the economy. It's always about your economy.
Well, I've heard him say that 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And that's got to be the first line of defense.
Right.
Is what is happening. I guess Yeah. Willie H is like, don't turn your head. If I look to my left, just visualize him doing it. If I look to my left, if I look to my right, like that's my peripheral, my center of concern, my team, employees, those situations, direct family, even extended family in certain instances. But it's that impact point there, versus, oh my God, the sky's falling.
Right.
Yeah.
And understanding too, the type of business that you have, it's really important to understand, do you have like a recurring revenue type model where you're doing consulting over time, or where you've got a product that's a disposable product that people buy regularly, or do you have a one and done? Are you selling something once, it's got a 10-year warranty, and the only time you're going to make any money is if something outside of the warranty comes.
Yeah. I follow a guy that's an acquisition, business acquisition expert, like that's his thing. And, he's always espousing investments in ubiquitous businesses that survive any economic downturn, right? So he likes accounting firms.
Okay.
Because no matter what, taxes will not stop.
Correct.
Right. So no matter what the economy's doing, people still have to file taxes. The taxation system is still in place. That's going to be happening. Right. So, he likes nail salons. Women, predominant patrons of nail salons, right? Not to be whatever. But they're not going to just have raggedy nails.
Right.
Because now maybe you've got to adjust prices. Maybe you've got to do some things when you're dealing with uncertainty, but they're not going to just have like tore up feet.
No.
And tore up nails.
Right. They may go once every 6 weeks instead of once every 4.
Correct.
They're going to adjust their behavior, but they're not going to stop that behavior.
Laundromats.
Correct.
People aren't going to I guess someone might throw it. They might leave that undershirt on for an extra day in hard times. But the average person is not going to just outright stop washing their clothes, right? They might shake them pants out one more time or hit a little Febreze on there. But eventually, So yeah, to your point, it is also reflective of what that category. Correct. During COVID, I learned to cut my own hair.
Okay.
Cutting my hair wasn't complicated. Right. I loved my barbershop. Right. I loved the woman who cut my hair. Became very friendly with her, but it just became impractical, dollar for dollar. Right. And based on the needs of my hair. Right. I'm holding on, and don't be. It's possible, folks. I could. You may see me with a full frontal again. I have not given up. Okay. You might see this is all my YouTubers. This is all. Put me on camera too, William. Put me on camera too. This all. This all could come back. Okay. So it's not gone forever. Thank you. Right. Okay, you can go wide again, but. I'm just letting people know. You're done? I'm done. You're going to go to Turkey with me. Turkey is
I will go be your supporter and cheerleader, and I will, I'll have a great time.
We can turn, literally, who sang it? Who sang Turn Back the Hands of Time? Who was it? Who was it that sang
Turn Back Time?
Turn Back the Share.
Share, yes.
Yeah, we can do it.
I believe you.
You're going to see me and LG 007 with full on. Now your stuff you maybe get flowy,
right? It gets curly.
You're gonna see you with a coif.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Well, so here's the.
We're gonna document that too. LG and Mosley in Turkey. Willie H. What? You want to give it another run?
And you better believe.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's not done yet.
Right.
I got pictures of Willie H. I know Willie H. for 30 years.
Right.
I got pictures with full wave cap.
You got evidence, yeah?
Yeah.
100%.
I know you don't know anything about the wave cap.
No, I understand.
But, I know you know what it is because I know you're a closet soul brother. But all right. So we talked about economic uncertainty. Okay, I want to move on to the next point.
Sounds good.
Throw it out, soul brother. Okay. So number 2, in terms of these problems, right? We're talking about this in terms of challenges, major challenges. Right. Economic uncertainty 2, talent, acquisition, and retention.
Yes.
It's very frightening. Going back to the guy I follow that talks about industries, right? HVAC is one of those ubiquitous industries that you're always going to need heating and cooling.
Right.
But man, what a problem. In terms of talent, it's very dire. In terms of getting younger people into the mix, into that profession. It's highly lucrative.
It is.
Now, if you think you could hang out in the grocery store parking lot making TikTok videos and make six figures, then maybe you don't consider actually doing training and having to learn some stuff. But but that's a thing that will be around.
Yes. Well, and all of those skills, those trades, right? So HVAC, electrician, carpenters,
Yep.
those are lifelong
Skilled
skilled labor.
Yeah.
And most of them have some level of apprenticeship.
Yep.
Most of them have some level of built-in mentorship. And the reason that they're built for the long term is because they're long-term careers.
Right.
And so and if you have businesses, you have access to talent, the electrical workers, the IBEW, you can always, if you maintain a good relationship with them, if you lose somebody because they go do something else or move, you have access to talent. And so those types of businesses, to your point, Cory, those types of businesses, they are ubiquitous. You always need them. And
but here's the deal. You can't think the same way about recruiting.
No.
So if you are a business owner that's been in the game for 35 years or you've been around, you've established your business, and you're going to be faced with talent acquisition and retention challenges, you can't do the same thing.
Right.
I treat everybody good. I pay them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I pay them when I owe them.
That's right.
Okay. I can't imagine why people wouldn't want this opportunity.
Right.
So you're going to have to get serious. You're going to have to get more creative.
Correct.
In terms of also paying more attention to what your culture looks like, things that you used to dismiss, from the toughen up era, having changes in that idea in terms of that culture, work arrangements, retail. The COVID was a gift in a certain way. I'm not, again, don't send me any email. I send a gift. I know people lost their lives. I'm talking in the context of how it reshaped culture.
Right.
The idea that the mall could be closed at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. versus 9.
Right.
The quality of life changed because hours changed in retail.
Yeah.
Holiday sales, maniac hours, because it was Christmas and those type of things.
Right, the 24-hour day after
What
Thanksgiving.
world did a Best Buy close at 9 p.m.?
Right.
Right, in that world, so that restaurants, allowing people to go, closing earlier than they normally would, and increasing quality of life. Right. So the question as a small business owner, are there things, if you are employing people, whether part-time basis, full-time basis, even a contract basis has contract hours, right? What are some of the things that you're looking at potentially to get creative in how you're addressing that culture? Right. A lot of people are bringing their freelancers into company events and different things like that. Like just because you're part-time, or like people that might not be considered traditional employees, they're bringing them into the fold. Right. To create that community.
Well, and going back as an extension of what you said for the pandemic and this economic uncertainty as well, is it will do things to us and it will do things for us. The key is you got to figure it out and understand what that means. So one of the things that the pandemic did for us is it opened up the world as remote work. And now what it's doing to us is if you're a company, people are coming back to, companies are forcing people to come back to work, not forcing them, but they're saying, if you want to continue to work with us, you have to return to the office. Right. Well, that's going to open some opportunities for small business owners who have people in the community that are very talented, highly skilled, and don't want to go back to where they moved from. Right. Like we live in the Richmond market, and there was this great migration from DC and from New York down to Richmond because of better cost of living. Right. You could work remotely. There's all kinds of opportunities for community, to raise your kids if you have a family, and people don't want to go back to those major cities. There are going to be some opportunities to hire people like you're talking about. How do you shape your culture? How do you hire people? How do you upgrade your talent? And we talk about talent. People are always going to leave. At some point, everybody leaves. So you have to have some level of a pipeline into your community to know that if somebody's going to leave, how are you going to address that before they do?
Yeah, 100%. So, and that's from a cultural standpoint. Also, within that mix is what is the training and development program?
Yes.
And you don't have to be 100-person company. Right. I understand. Oh, Cory, we've got 7 employees here, so it's not like I have promotional tracks available inside my organization. Well, that doesn't mean you can't invest in training. Correct. You can't create better skill. Oh, well, if I train them, they'll leave. Well, don't train them and see what happens.
Right. You guarantee they'll leave.
Right. Right. So creating multidisciplinary opportunities within your organization, gives you the opportunity to do that. You can create tier, a lot of times what you'll see in some of the larger like spa communities or in that spa businesses is you'll see people that have been around a long time, they're considered a, tier 1. And tier 1 gets a little more bump. It's a little more expensive, a little bit larger investment to get a massage from a tier 1 or whatever they may call them. Right. And that's a way though to reward that person that's been there long, or based on seniority or time there. You can create these stair steps. Right. That as a business owner, gives you a structured way to not have to jump somebody up beyond maybe where it's margin compression for you. But now I've created a stair step: year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, right? And you become level 1, 2, 3, top level. Now you get a higher percentage, you get a more flexible schedule. So you can have a small company or even a micro business and still create opportunities for people to get training, to develop, to have rewards, for them as a factor from an employee standpoint.
Yes. And in the smaller companies, let's say you've got 8 to 10 people in your company, you can use that as a culture building opportunity. Use it to establish standards. These are the things that we expect. Because it's a small company, in smaller companies, people tend to work together more. And so you can create an environment where they become, you're establishing the culture, they become invested in each other professionally and personally. You create opportunities for them to teach each other, to learn from each other. But training is important because that's where you set standards. These are the things that we all do, and these are the things that we expect from you.
Right.
Voice of reason.
There you go. He did it. Next up, technological disruption.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. No, you're laughing. This AI is scary.
It is.
It really is scary.
Right.
When you are thinking about the impersonation factor.
Lord have mercy.
I was talking to a client that's involved in, he's partnered in some AI-based software, and he was telling me about they were looking at the conversations that people were having with the bot. Okay. Like thinking it's a person. Right. And, guys are asking for dates. Oh, wow. Like, he's asking the bot, Julie, do you like coffee? And, oh, yeah, I love coffee. Oh, well, maybe we can get a coffee sometime. Oh, well, I'm not, really in your area. This is the conversation. Yeah, like it's wow. it's crazy. Right. Like this, it's and then when you look at, the pictures and there's so much stuff out there. Now, I do have an appreciation for a lot of the services are telling you AI is detected now. You're starting to see that a lot too, right? Things that, I didn't know this picture can't be real. Well, it's AI. Like now you've got ways to do it. But this just ability to impersonate or speak for someone or sound like someone or it's very interesting times here, buddy boy. Well, and, it's especially scary in the world of IP, right? We're looking at some of the actors and the movie stars who are having their voices recreated. Yes. And they brought Tupac back. Right. Scary. It is. So the ability for that to get off the rails certainly exists. And understanding, like, how do you use that and how do you make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into? Well, the other thing is that it's almost like, and you can't have it in Virginia, but in New Jersey, people still use radar detectors, right? Yeah. K-band and the different things. Right. But the funny part was always that many of the companies that make the consumer products make the products for the police.
Right.
So it's kind of like I'm making the police product to beat your product, and I go meet a new one for consumers. I mean, great for business, right?
Right.
Because you continuously have that.
Right.
But what's scary is you think about some of the things that are supposed to be technological advancements. For example, banks now, many of them have voice recognition.
Okay.
And that's how they verify you. They don't make you give your social anymore or your
Right.
whatever. They say, oh, we've detected this number. Now
Right.
you've got, because you can spoof a number now.
Right.
And we've got voice technology was supposed to be the breakthrough because you
Right.
can't fake somebody's voice
Right.
until you can.
Right. Well, with AI,
Yeah,
you
well,
can
that's
do
my
that.
point.
Yeah.
So now, even from a fraud perspective,
Right.
you could literally impersonate somebody's voice,
Right.
and that's just scary stuff. Now, in the conversation or the context of this here, what I want to emphasize when I talk about technological disruption
Right.
is now your ability to proactively stay on top of that from the type of technology and services that you are using.
Okay. Good.
Because really understanding the systems, a lot of people set it and forget it. They've been on the same thing forever.
Right.
There is an innovation. There were a number of people during COVID, number of restaurants that we worked with that were on old antiquated ordering systems that were an extension of the system they had used for 20 years
Right.
in their physical restaurants.
Right.
And some guys had just thrown together a piecemeal thing to do online ordering, and it was a disaster.
Right.
So we had to move. We moved a lot of people onto Square and
Correct.
these other Olo and these other actual platforms that was designed
Right.
to have a good customer experience.
Right.
But you've got to be paying attention to that in terms of looking, how do I optimize? How do I be more efficient?
Yeah, and the big thing, to your point, Cory, is really figure out what you're using and what you need to use,
Yeah.
and then get a handle on it, because you don't need to use everything, but get a real good handle on what you are using, and make sure you stay up to date, or somebody on your team stays up to date on
Yeah.
that, because the technology changes daily.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Oh, good. Okay. There you go.
That's
All
all,
right.
that's all I got. Yeah,
There it is.
That's
He
all
left
I
it
got.
there. He left
Yeah.
it there. Now, from a strategy standpoint, right? So now technological disruption, right? Looking at audits, make sure you have your I's dotted and T's crossed. We just had a great expert on one of our shows, Matt Yesbeck, who has an IT company with his son.
Okay.
Shout out to Matt. I know he listens to the podcast.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt.
But now he's coming into the market, worked for the big IT company, so he knows the scary stuff, the cybersecurity, all these things, and now is bringing that down to the small business level. Now they can support. I think they look for people up to 100 employees, so they can play big because he has the
Sure.
experience there. But really, they're also here for the micro businesses,
Okay.
even people with a few computers, just having
Right.
that layer of protection because this stuff moves so fast. And you know what? The average person is not. Yeah, I understand Google will walk you through certain things.
Right.
No one wants to go through 22 pages of a tutorial
Correct.
to protect themselves from email spoofing.
Right.
A lot of people don't even know if they're set up correctly for that. So people like him, that's what I mean when you got to audit and go out and work with expert professionals, hire professionals
Right.
when they need help. But you've got to be looking for it proactively
Right.
and not wait till your email's down or you've been hacked
Right.
or there's a ransomware or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
Might be
and
a guy I want to work with.
well, I think the key, so we talk about how do you set that up? You
Yep.
set up regular schedules for yourself
Mhm.
so that you look at, okay, here's what I need to check this monthly or
Right.
weekly or whatever makes sense for your business and for the technology that you're
Right.
using. Build into your schedule a regular checkpoint where, okay, well, I set aside an hour to look at this, or I set aside, a half a day, or somebody on my team, I consult with a person with Matt and his team.
Yep.
You set up regular scheduled intervals to stay on top of that, I think is really a key point there.
Yeah, and from a technological standpoint, I also recommend look outside your industry. Because what I've seen as we enter different industries now working with clients, we've got clients in collision repair, we've got clients in moving companies, we've got clients in tech, we've got clients in these different facets in real estate. All of them have niche products and services that are being offered to them. as a specialty, like, oh, we specialize. Our software is specialized for your
Right.
business. But when I go in and I look at a lot of these systems, I go, wow, they're really phoning it in.
Okay.
Meaning,
Bad.
yeah, yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy, as my mother would say. Because they built it. Oh, we have the best real estate software for real estate agents.
Right.
And then you go peel the onion back, and you're like, it's kind of lackluster.
Right.
Like you built it just enough, maybe, and then you'll get someone to invest on the idea that, oh, well, they specialize in my market.
Right.
Just because they might use your words, right? You
Right.
might use client in their software or something.
Right.
But go outside of your market and see there may be what might be considered a generic solution
Right.
that is customizable for your needs, but that generic solution has got more invested capital in it
Right.
than someone who, could code and put something together.
Well, yeah, and often those are more robust. To your point, Cory, is they have, they've got more. They've got
right.
more
And there's such thing as
resources.
overkill, but but by and large, hey, look out, whatever you're looking for a CRM. Yes, there may be some great CRMs in your industry that are tagged for your industry.
Right.
But see what else is out there in the rest of the world.
Yeah, indeed.
So, and for a lot of people, if you're interested in learning more about some of the products and services that we use in our business, you can go to CoryMosley.com/tools.
Okay.
And you'll see a grid layout of a lot of the different things, whether it's CRM or
Right.
financial or whatever that we use. CoryMosley.com/tools
There you go.
for that information. Okay, let's move on. Number 4. Oh, look at that. We're almost done.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The day's still young now. We
It
don't know
is.
how
We still got-
long-winded we're going to be on
We
these
still
things.
got time.
So another thing, of course, marketing and customer engagement itself.
Yes.
I mean, we're flooded right now. The ads are flooded. I mean, all these secret places to get a lot of traction.
Right.
The cat is out of the bag. Everybody and their mother is running ads on all the
Right.
platforms.
Right.
You've got people no longer needing to rely completely on the agency. They're
Right.
using the AI.
Right.
So now there's a lot more DIY because of AI.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's better.
Right.
It just means there's more players in the game. There's more ads running now.
Right.
God forbid you click on one thing about one thing. I think I wanted to learn more about there's like a colostrum.
Okay.
And now
Right.
I've got everybody's brother, sister's mother sells colostrum.
Right.
And now I'm inundated.
Right.
Plus all the other ads that I'm being served.
Correct.
So when I say when we refer to this as a major challenge,
Right.
it is a major challenge because how you're going to market and how you're going to go after customer engagement, what you used to do may not be working anymore,
Right.
or what you might be able to get by on. Oh, Cory, we never paid too much attention to our website. Good luck with that.
Right.
Or, we're on social, but we don't really do anything with it.
Yeah. Well, and the challenge is the more reliant you become on these tools, the more you get away from what distinguishes your business and your expertise. And what you want to make sure of is that when you're using these tools, AI and some of the technology, that it enhances
Yeah.
and helps you advance your business.
Yep.
It doesn't create more barriers to success for you.
I like it. I like what you're putting down, LG007. Okay. Yeah. Data plays. I mean, we're still in marketing and customer engagement, but right, using more data-driven, techniques, especially when you're spending money on advertising. When we're talking about traditional advertising to acquire, and we're going to talk in the future. We're going to talk about education-based content versus just advertising.
Okay.
So that will be something coming up soon.
Sure.
Stay tuned. Might have been something we were going to talk about previously.
It might have been.
But we got we called an audible of an audible, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But again, customer loyalty. Where's the customer loyalty program? I was eating somewhere the other day, and I remember saying to my wife, "I don't get anything for this."
Okay.
Like, I think it was Arby's.
Okay.
Actually, I think we had lunch at Arby's the other day,
All right.
and they have an app. So, like, yeah, I got a discount on the sandwich.
Okay.
But I didn't earn anything for purchase.
Okay. So no incentive to come back.
Right. When I go to Chipotle, right, you pull out your thing, you scan it, and it hits the thing, and then your points accumulate. Then you convert those points into a chicken bowl.
Right.
I don't understand how everyone's not doing that. Or more importantly, here's interesting, not talking about it.
Right.
There's a local restaurant that we go to because Willie H just loves it. I don't know. He loves it so much that we're always there. And we noticed on the receipt that they mention a points program.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then we signed up. But the waitress didn't say, hey, be sure to sign up for a new loyalty program.
Right.
And when we're all fighting for loyalty, I don't know anybody that doesn't want a loyal customer. And that comes in all shapes and sizes, right? Continues to come back to you, stays with you, whatever, however you define it, but refers you.
Right.
I don't know anybody in business that doesn't want a loyal customer.
Right.
So what are you doing to ensure loyalty?
Right. Well,
come on, Willie H. Maybe this guy can help me. No, come on. It's something else. Oh my God. That should have been the church. Woo. When the church say amen.
There you go.
I gotta beg for but if Lon says something, it's voice of reason. Come on now.
Voice of reason.
It's a clean show. You're lucky, but
we should have ordered a coffee for him.
I'll talk to you offline. I'll talk to Willie. His heart rate is always at 58.
Well, coming back though to the loyalty, right? And there's incentive to come in. What incentivizes you to come back?
Right.
So you had Arby's, and when I was 10 years old, it was pretty cool. Arby's sponsored my bowling team. The bowling team that I was on.
Nice.
So I had a big yellow shirt that had the big Arby's hat on the back. It was fun.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a long time ago. So it
They used
doesn't
to have great ice cream. They used to have Eskimo pie ice cream. Oh. The Eskimo, I don't know what happened in that deal, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of chocolate normally, but they had this Jamocha shake that was
the Jamocha,
spectacular. Yeah. But the point of it is we talk.
Arby's, if you're still in the sponsoring business, hello,
right?
Grow Business Podcast.
Absolutely.
I sponsored little Lonnie's
bowling team. That's
so
right.
why not the Grow Business Podcast? Reunite with Lon Graham.
Come on back.
Yeah, come on back. We have the meats. We can say that. We can say that good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better than Ving Rhames.
100%. And Ving Rhames does it well. Ving Rhames does it well.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your point.
The point that you're making, though, is that there's lots of things that encourage people to come back. And food, especially, any grocery stores, any type of recurring. Kroger, we've talked about Kroger before. I moved and I live closer to a Kroger now. They have points where you can get benefits on pricing for gas. If you buy groceries, at some point they give you credit for pricing on gas, and it becomes this reward. If you're a member, you get incentives based on.
And as a society, we go crazy. Starbucks,
right?
People dying, people falling over each other to get 10 points.
Well, and it's the
you got to
psychology.
spend $600 in coffee to get the 10 stars.
Right.
Like no one does the math. Oh, get 7 beverages in 7 days.
Right.
And you get 20 stars.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm running out of Starbucks. I'm 2 away from getting these 10 bonus points.
Well, and it's the psychology of gamification and reward.
Yeah.
And,
they mess with
winning
us.
And losing.
Yeah.
All of that. The point of it is if you're a small business or if you're listening to this podcast, if you don't have something now to reward people to come back, and even if you're in the service industry, and let's say you're in the roofing industry, because that's ideally that's a 15 to 20 year buy, right?
Right.
Once every 15 to 20 years. Can you reward people for bringing or recommending somebody? And if they either bring them to you and they buy, or if they tell somebody and they come and say, hey, one of your past clients recommended you. Can you reward that type of loyalty with a stipend, with a gift? I mean, my stepmother was in real estate for a long time. There's a move-in gift, right? You buy a nice gift for somebody moving in. It's something that they can use that they may have gotten lost in the bottom of a box somewhere where they were packing, or a bottle of wine, so that at the end of a tired day, you have some wine and cheese.
Right.
But what are some things that you can do to recognize that they came, encourage them to come back, or encourage them to tell somebody else to come back?
Right. There it is.
Loyalty programs and rewards.
Loyalty programs and rewards. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We're bringing it home.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem with being real time stuff happens. And
Start thinking.
yeah, it makes me laugh. Well, stuff comes in.
Right.
Somebody sent me somebody trying to do a show and it's really bad.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I.
All right.
For people wondering what's going on, that somebody just sent me that
Oh.
about these guys trying to do a show.
Oh, yeah. Local hardware store.
That's a car dealer.
There's also a hardware store with that name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the car dealer.
Okay.
Cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love it. The message. Well, what's funny is somebody wrote ha 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 about somebody wrote competition ha 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 on it. So it just I gotta close my email when I'm doing that. All right. So, okay, here we go. Well, it's entertaining though. I mean, so like what to me, and we've talked about this before. I just love the real time aspects of things.
Right.
There's a lot of great people out there that, wax poetic or reminisce or talk about things they were doing here. I just love the whole real time. And that's really, I think, what we're trying to get across too, is we're dealing with it every day.
Right.
It's real time stuff that people are doing out there that we want to solve. Like, it's like a don't do this.
Right.
Because like when you looked at that, did that make you go, it didn't increase credibility.
Right.
That's my thing.
Right.
So when people are putting out stuff, even if it's good, no one, like, if we sounded like crap and looked like crap and whatever, you wouldn't even get into 25 minutes to get the nuggets.
Right.
Like, I can't watch whatever this is. Because it's just bad. The lighting's bad. This guy's, what's going on with his head here? Like, I don't.
He's got too much hair.
Yeah, right. I don't know what's going on. This was bad. This is when DIY goes wrong.
Right.
And I'm not going to listen to 18 minutes of this because it's painful.
Right. Well, and
that's just dumb. I haven't even heard the audio yet.
It's an example of
what is this?
What do you want your brand to represent? How do you want your brand to show up? And are you, part of the things as you try and expand or as you try and do things to address some of the economic uncertainty, to address using some of the AI, using some of the tools that continue to evolve. The key is make sure you stay to the core of your message and make sure you stay to the core of your brand so that you can continue to be believable, so that people continue to want to do business with you and they still feel connected to you.
Well, let me tell you the good news here. I'm going to prospect this guy.
There you go.
I'm going to try to fix his problem.
Oh, is that local?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Within
local enough.
40 minutes.
Local enough.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can fix his problem.
You should,
because he's got a problem. Okay.
We can do better.
Help.
We can do better.
We're gonna help.
Right. 100%.
Help, and I forget what it is. I love the movie I love the Equalizer series.
Oh yeah.
Help and Company. He says in the scene where he realizes that those guys killed did you see the third Equalizer?
I haven't seen the third. I've only seen the first two.
Come on. There's a beautiful scene. I'm sure Willie H will probably find it in post-production where he says, he goes to the guy's house, Dave, which is played by what's the guy? He's in everything now. What's the guy's name? Willie H. He's in everything. He's the Mandalorian. He was in Narcos. He's like the main character in a bunch of these things. It's on the tip of my tongue. Willie H. just sent it to me before I'm done. Okay. But the scene, I'm so off topic here, but I love it. If you haven't seen Equalizer, it's just, I love the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it wrong. It's the second Equalizer. Okay. You did see that one? Yes. Okay. So that's when the friend dies. Okay. The lady. Yes. Yeah. So she dies. And he goes to Dave's house. Oh, yeah. And he's uncovered that it's him, right? Right. And then he goes out, and I love the scene. Completely unrelated, folks, but just such a great scene. He goes out and he says, "You guys killed my friend." He says, "Normally, I give people an opportunity to make it right. Right. This ain't one of those times. That's right. You guys killed my friend, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill each and every one of you. Yes. And my only regret is I only get to do it once." Oh, God. That is so good. That was great. Right, yeah. It's so good. That is so good. And then the wife comes out And she's like, "Oh, you want to ride to the train station?" He's like, "Yes." She's like, "Oh, help and company." He's like, "See, Dave, help and company."
Right, exactly. Now I know. Yes,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring this home so we can get out of here,
That's
folks.
right.
Equalizer 2. Oh, such a great movie. I'm gonna go watch that tonight.
That's
Okay.
It's worth every
Last one is scaling for growth.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Sounds like a perfect segue.
Perfect.
To talk about position for growth.
Correct.
I didn't have that intentionally, but scaling is such a word everyone loves to use now, right? All the gurus and all the people, oh, you got to scale.
Right.
Learn how to scale.
Right.
I wrote the book Position for Growth because the reality is positioning is what creates scale. Like a lot of people, a lot of business owners, they go, "Oh, I want to scale," and like, boom,
right.
But it's really how you position yourself,
right?
How you position your mind, how you position your sales operation, how you position your marketing, how you position your operations, how you position your people.
Right.
That actually scaling is an outcome.
Correct.
That happens if you're properly positioned. So if you're having those conversations in your mind, Position for Growth is the perfect book for you. CoryMosley.com. You can pick up author signed copies, or of course, Amazon. We both do free shipping. So everywhere you get it, I just want to get in your hands.
Right.
It's been doing very well. People are impacted by it. It's not a hard read. You know, I write like I want to read.
Right.
So my wife can read these 900-page fantasy novels. Real tough to read a business development book that's 900 pages.
Correct.
Right? So, but it's based on the 5 pillars and it goes deeper in that. So scaling for growth, that includes, what are we talking about when we say that? To overcome this major problem, because scaling is a major problem. And your scaling can be adding a new product line. Scaling can be a revenue increase of X. Scaling doesn't mean going from 5 people to 50 all the time. And that's going to be another topic we'll cover, this idea of big versus small and who's right and wrong. Because there's people like, if you're not big, you know, you have no protection. Like you can't make it as a 2-person company, a 3-person company. And we'll cover that later. But operational plans, step-by-step actions, right, that identify the sustainability, getting position. I mean, it's indirectly coming back here, and looking at scalable processes and automations. You know, one of the things that we've experimented with is like automatic booking. Okay. Like really taking somebody through a process, particularly with our thought leadership interviews, having them walk through the whole process from investing, scheduling, you know, filling out the information, and kind of really automating that process all the way through it just getting booked on the calendar. Okay. Whereas we would have a traditional, you know, as you know, we'd have a 2 or 3 step, right? Somebody's calling to book a time and that type of thing. So automating it all the way through just creates some scalability options, you know, for us to figure out, and it's cheap enough with the tools to do it. But that's like, okay, so when we're saying, how do we get positioned to scale? Well, we need to close the gap on leaving voicemails and waiting for somebody to call us back and create a customer experience that gives them more control, which helps us scale. Correct. Right?
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges about scaling, and you talk about the way people talk about it, Cory, is people talk about scaling like it's a light switch, like it's an on-off switch. And all you do is turn it on, and all of a sudden you're bigger. Right. And that's not the reality. The reality of it is it's like a dimmer switch. You've got to continue to invest some juice, some more electricity, and you get more light. You invest a little more electricity, you get a little bit more light. And it's the same thing when you're doing things with hiring and your operations and your streamlining. You by maximizing the resources that you have, you create an opportunity to move through those resources or to advance those resources quicker. And it's that momentum that creates the scale. So the scale, like you talk about, is an outcome or a result of the things that you've already done.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes. Well, because you're the... What is he, Willie H? He's the voice of reason. There you go. I like it. I think we're going to leave it there.
Sounds good.
You know, as always, let's thank our listeners. Yeah. We thank you for coming back every week, and everything that you guys are doing to help share and spread the word and spread the message out there at the Grow Business Podcast. And we hope this takes the next step in helping you and your business. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think.
Last words?
Yeah, I think it's great to recognize that recently, we got notified that there's been 50,000 downloads.
Yeah.
And the way that happens is that the people that are listening right now listen, like it, and come back again. And a lot of those are repeat downloads. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming back. And then when you share it, it becomes our scale, right? That's a version of our scale.
Right.
And the way that happens is because you like what we're doing and you like it enough to share with people that you care about.
That's
right.
So
thank you for doing that.
That's right.
Please continue to come back and please continue to do that.
Awesome. LG007, this is the Grow Business Podcast. I'm Cory Mosley for Lon and for Willie H. We'll see you next week. Willie H., take us out.
The first guy that held this thing had hair. That was his problem. He had too much of it.
Funny.
Oh, man. Wow. I just went down a long, long road.
For sure.
Not
Ooh,
for
made
public.
challenge another good one.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. That was fun. We got a little sideways. I do need to watch up Equalizer 3. Because if
three's
one or
great.
two comes on,
Yeah. You
I'm
watch it,
done.
right?
I'm
Yeah, I
done.
know. Yeah,
Like,
we
I
just
go
watch
pour
it.
a beer, get pour a cup of coffee.
Pedro Pascal, yeah.
There
It was
you
on the
go.
tip of my tongue. I couldn't,